Good evening, South Tama Trojan fans. It's Trojan Country. We're live from STC Trojan Field tonight, and we're just about 35 minutes away from kickoff of this South Tama Saydel matchup in week 2 of the Iowa High School football season. Glad you could be with us. We're live from Facebook Live and YouTube on Trojan Country here tonight. I'm Darvin Graham. I'll be with you for the duration this evening, and glad you could join us. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the following sponsors: Gary Bach, State Farm Insurance, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, S&S Car Wash, State Bank of Toledo, Medicap Pharmacy, Appraisal and Real Estate Services, The Pump, Assured Partners in Toledo, and Dallas Berm Exit Holes Realty. Thanks to all those folks, local businesses, each and every one, and we thank them for their support of STC Athletics and our broadcasts here on Trojan Country. We've got a warm one here tonight from Tama, Iowa. Sun is shining pretty hot and bright, and we've got the teams on the field warming up. South Tama 0-1 after a loss last week on the road to West Marshall, and they're taking on Saydel tonight. The Saydel Eagles also 0-1. They've opened with a 71-0 blowout loss to Clark in week 1, and so some team's going to come away with some good news tonight, so that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And right now we're going to run through a little bit of what happened last week in area scoreboard and some of the District 3 standings. We'll just quickly go through these here for you, so if you are keeping track in Class 3A District 3, that's where South Tama is. We're in the second year of this 3A district, and South Tama could look for a updated slate of opponents next season. We've had this group for 2 years now, or this was our second year with this group. And so last week we had 3 teams in Class 3 District 3, Class 3A District 3 getting wins, and 3 teams taking losses. Centerpoint Urbana got a win 34-7 over Vinton Shellsburg. They start their season 1-0, and they're at Benton Community this week. That'll be a big one, kind of a rivalry. Cross-county rivalry there. Hampton, Dumont, Cal, they got a win 44-7. These wins looking pretty similar. Not a lot of close games between these teams. All down my list here tonight, I see a lot of multi-score differences in between the winner and the loser in week 1. So Hampton, Dumont, Cal, they got a win 44-7 over West Fork in week 1. They're 1-0, and they travel to Iowa Falls Alden tonight to take on the Cadets. Then it's Independence. They get a win 44-9 last week over Maquoketa. They're 1-0, and they host Clear Creek Amana in week 2. Now, the 3 teams in the District 3 group that took losses last week were Charles City, South Tama, and believe it or not, West Delaware. A very coming into many preseason rankings, high in Class 3A. They were a playoff team last week. West Delaware took a loss 31-14 against Dubuque Wahlert Catholic, so they're 0-1, and they don't really have a break. They're going to have to go on the road to face Xavier tonight in week 2. So it'll be interesting to see how their season starts, if they can get a bounce back, and that could really be interesting. There's some talented teams with Independence. And I think Hampton, Dumont, Cal, an above-average squad looking for that district win. So West Marshall stumbles early, West Delaware stumbles early, and they're 0-1 to start the season. Then it's Charles City. They took a loss last week. A bit of a closer finish here. 36-13 was the final score. Charles City losing to Olwine in week 1, and they host North New Hampton in week 2. Then South Tama, of course, losing 42-6 last week, Friday, at State Center. That was against West Marshall. And the STC Trojans hosting Saydel tonight. Now, in area scoreboard, teams around the area, Benton Community shut out Grinnell last week, 35-0. They're, as I said, hosting CPU. Union Community up in the LaPorte City area took a loss 48-14 to Appleton Parkersburg. They're 0-1, and they traveled to Denver tonight. North Tama made almost got to the Dome last season. North Tama took a win over Belle Plaine 34-6, so they're out to a good start there, 1-0. and they travel to AGWSR in week 2. Gladbrook Rhinebeck over in Class A, they're preseason ranked number 6 by the Associated Press. They got a win 70-13 over North Iowa in week 1, and they are hosting Kolonesko this week. GMG, kind of a weird week 2 for them. They got a loss 56-8 last week against Grandview Christian, and they played actually last night against Collins Maxwell. That was another loss for the Wolverines. They took it 56-6, and that was their week 2 game last night. East Marshall rounding out the area scoreboard. They were hosting BCLUW in week 1. They took a close. This was the closest one I saw in our area all night. Last week, it was 20-14, came down to the fourth quarter. East Marshall almost getting a win, but falling short against BCLUW. They are hosting Roland Story this week in week 2. Quickly, the Class 3A rankings that came out a couple days ago from the Associated Press. Solon topping the list. Then it's Harlan at number 2, Humboldt at 3. ADM Adel at 4, Nevada at 5. Haven't seen Nevada up that high in some good time. So that'll be interesting to see how their season goes. Number 6 in Class 3A is North Polk. Then it's Davenport Assumption. Number 8 is Benton Van Horn. Number 9, Mock Floyd Valley. And rounding it out in the top 10 for Class 3A, Sergeant Bluff Luton. So that's how last week shaped up. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Trojan Country. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Gary Bach State Farm Insurance. Did you know that State Farm is the largest small business insurer in the country? Call Agent Gary Bach in Tama, Toledo to see how State Farm can help you offset the risk of being a small business owner. Rest easy. The team at Gary Bach State Farm have your back. Call 641-484-3163 today. And make sure to stop in for a free quote. Mention Trojan Country, and you'll get a free gift and a promotion when you stop over to Gary Bach State Farm over on South County Road, Highway 63, headed north in Toledo, right by the fire station. Thanks to their support for this Trojan Country fall season. All right, it is about 27 minutes away from kickoff here at STC Trojan Field. South Tama taking on Saydel. We've got both teams warming up here on the field. And right now, here during the pregame show, we're going to jump over to a Getting to Know You feature. We sat down with the new high school principal, Rob Boley, earlier in the week and had a nice little chat with him. And so here is STC high school principal Rob Boley and I earlier this week. You're listening to Trojan Country. Today we are talking with South Tama High School Principal Rob Boley. Rob is just getting started with us here at South Tama. And Rob, thanks for making some time for us.
You are welcome.
All right. Well, let's just start at the beginning a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where you come from? Are you an Iowan originally? How do you come to where you are here today?
Okay. I began my career in the 92-93 school year in Des Moines Public Schools. Worked my way up as a teacher through Des Moines Public Schools, Johnston Community School District, and the Saydel Community School District. Taught a variety of subjects from special education to social studies. I started an at-risk program as well. Began my administrative career at the Woodward Academy, which is a residential facility for delinquent males. Spent 2 years at the academy, was transferred to another building. The Woodward Academy is in the Woodward Granger Community School District, so I was there for 2 years, and I went to another building. It was a segregated special education building called Grandwood Campus. It was located on the grounds of the Woodward Resource Center. My first 4 years as an administrator, I worked with very challenging students, behaviorally, educationally, worked to help the students reach some goals. After that, I served as one of the associate principals at Valley High School in West Des Moines. I did that for 9 years with 2,200 students. I wanted to get to know students one-on-one, so I was offered and accepted the role as the head principal at Woodward Granger High School. Was there for 7 years. Witnessed really a tragedy there at Woodward Granger my last year, involving an elementary student. And so I looked for a change after growing up in Central Iowa, living in Central Iowa, working in Central Iowa. I was served as the principal of Bettendorf High School in the Quad Cities last year. That was not a good fit for me. I really like being in Central Iowa, and so was offered and accepted the position here at South Tama County High School.
Yeah. So you've been in education a good while now. What has kept you? What keeps you coming back each year? What keeps you excited about working with kids and now as an administrator in this role?
I think seeing students achieve, seeing students grow has always gotten me excited. There's something about seeing former students now, working with some of my former students, their kids. It's starting to. It's just that value that you have on the relationship that you make with a student to help them reach their educational goals and then see them being successful in life.
Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about what drew you to South Tama and maybe some of what your first impressions have been now that you're on the ground here and you've been working at the building for a little while now.
My impressions of South Tama from the outside looking in was that it was always a hard-working community. I based that a lot on wrestling. As a former wrestling coach, seeing the success of South Tama, the grittiness of the students, you get a sense that the students are hardworking. And that drew me to South Tama. I grew up on the east side of Des Moines, which is a very, very blue-collar side of Des Moines. And what I had seen in the students at South Tama County High School when they were competing and they came down to Johnston, they seen them at the state wrestling tournament, just a place that the kids wanted to work hard to succeed.
Yeah. And what have been some of your impressions of the district now that you're here? I know it's early and just the first week or so here, but how have things been going?
I would tell you that the community, the staff, this is the nicest group of people I've ever worked with. Mm-hmm. I've been in some challenging areas, but here everybody's, there's Iowa nice, mm-hmm. and then I think South Tama County Community School District nice is a little bit nicer than Iowa nice. And so it's working with individuals and kind of learning that it's okay to say no. As we learn each other, as we start to grow as a staff, it's kind of learning those expectations and holding some accountability to say no, and not in a rude or mean way, but just in a way that this is the way we're going to do business from here on out. So the students and staff have been real receptive to the ideas. Now I know the first week there's a big honeymoon period. However, we're going to continue to, I told the staff Thursday when we met, we're going to continue to jog at a 6 on the treadmill. We might go to a 6.2. We might get to 7 before the year's over, but we're not going to slow down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How has this year felt different? Obviously, you're in a different location. Has there been anything different about this back to school time for you as you're experiencing it? How does this maybe compare to previous back to school, early school periods?
I think the beginning has gone very smoothly. Yeah. I would say one of the differences coming back in August in my past positions. We came back in July. You took a couple of weeks off at the end of June, and so you had time to prepare. I would say for me, starting August 1st, there's the School Administrators of Iowa conferences that first week in August. We went to professional learning communities training the second week in August. So just not being in the building, getting things up to speed. Yep. I felt a little bit unorganized, more so than in the past, and part of that is just the system and trying to learn how to do some things in a system where our timing's just a little bit different.
Yeah. One thing that is maybe a narrative that's out and about in the state of Iowa right now is that hiring has been a difficulty. How is South Tama positioned, at least at your high school building here, in terms of staff, and are you seeing challenges in that regard?
We are a couple positions where we couldn't find quality candidates. 2 social studies teachers, which as a former social studies teacher, we were a dime a dozen in the 90s. I mean, one person, one opening would draw 50 to 100 applicants. So I think teachers leaving the profession in higher numbers is just something that is unseen of in this time. And so one of the things that I really like about the district is that we are centrally located and we're very close to things. The other thing that I think about it, the question that you always ask, and again, I'm new and I'm not pointing fingers or blame. I just affordable housing,
Yep.
and then what happens if I bring my spouse? What will my spouse do? So you think about those things, and sometimes that forces some of our teachers to live in other communities because there aren't openings for their spouse or significant other. And so I think that's a challenge that we're going to continue to face just based on our geographic location. And I hope that we can overcome that and bring some businesses in or do some things that attract young professionals.
Yeah. As the leader of this high school, this building here, could you talk a little bit about maybe your philosophy as an administrator, if you have that, so to speak, or maybe what does a successful year look like, or how do you get to a good year here at South Tama High?
There are a couple quotes that I live by. One is from Bobby Hansen, and that talks about discipline is doing something the right way and then doing it that way all the time in order to have success. And I'm paraphrasing. And to me, if anybody that knows me will tell you that we're going to do or operate a certain way and to achieve our results. I also believe in Romans chapter 12, verse 6, that all students have, or all people have a special gift. And it's our job as a school to find out what that gift is and bring that out. Whether a student wants to go into the world of work, if our student wants to go into a 2-year college to get a certificate in welding or the trades, or if they want to go to a 4-year school, it's our job to prepare our students for their life's experiences. Not what I want them to do, but what they want to do. Ideally, a great year would look like we have a 100% graduation rate. All our students are finding placement in where they want to be after high school. But those are lofty goals, and we're going to shoot for them. We want some high 30s in the ACT. We want some academic scholarships. We want some success in our activities, whether it's athletics or the fine arts. We want to strive to be one of the top schools in the state. We want to be a district of choice to draw people into us.
Yep. Before I let you get out of here, tell me a little bit about your hobbies, what you like to do in your free time. Tell me a little bit about yourself that way.
I don't have a lot of free time, but I would tell you that I enjoy spending time. I have 3 sons. One's 20, one's 18. My 20-year-old just finished his AA at Ellsworth, played baseball there. My middle son is at William Penn. He's going to bowl there. My youngest son is a junior in high school. Their activities take up most of my time. If I'm not doing that, my wife's got me on some renovation projects. So I don't have a lot of time for just me. When I do, I like spending time. I like walking with my dog. I think I can solve the world's problems when I'm just walking with my dog.
Sure.
I just have time to think and just focus on issues or thoughts running through my head. So
yeah, you bet. Well, thanks for making some time for us, and best of luck to you as you go about this school year.
Thank you.
Was South Tama High School head principal Rob Boley.
You're listening to Trojan Country. We are about 11 minutes away from kickoff here at STC Trojan Field. While we have a minute, we're going to jump into Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner brought to you by Iowa Premium. Located in the heart of corn and cattle country, Iowa Premium procures and processes only corn-fed Black Angus cattle that come hand-selected from family farms in Iowa and neighboring states. As Tama County's largest employer, the team at Iowa Premium are an anchor not only in the beef industry, but throughout eastern and central Iowa. Thanks to Iowa Premium for their support of Trojan Country.
It's time for South Tama Trojan Country Coach's Corner. Here I'm today joined by South Tama head varsity football coach Nate Dorn. Nate, we're joining you on a Tuesday just after practice. How did this practice look for you guys? Getting your first kind of look, first couple looks after that West Marshall game. How's today looking for you?
I would say our focus and our intensity was much, much better. Last week, I would say we had a good practice, but I don't think we were as intense and we weren't prepared as it showed for Friday night. This week, we know what the heck we did wrong and we know how we got to act, and I think we're going to get better off of that. So the intensity was good tonight.
That's good to hear. Talk to me a little bit about Friday. A close game, especially in that first quarter. You guys went back and forth a little bit. Do you feel like West Marshall made adjustments? How do you feel like things kind of slipped away a little bit there later in the game for you guys?
Biggest thing was just the start of the game. I don't think we were ready like we should have been. I don't know if we had the kids and didn't have them prepared well enough. I don't know if the kids. To be honest, we have a lot of kids that they're first-time players at a varsity football game, and they just don't have the experience, and that's tough. That's tough. West Marshall, hats off to them. They're a program. They came out, they came out rough. They came out ready. They came out powerful, and they wanted it. Jammed it down our throats, got an easy score. But then hats off to us. We didn't hang our heads and we didn't stop. We fought them and fought them and fought them, and then they, got some big passes on us. We got a corner out there that never ever played football before, and he's starting varsity for us. And they found him and they put him in a situation, and he did his best. They outgot him. And then, towards the end, I'd say the score is deceiving. They kept their starters in. Right. It's with 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. They kept their number one guys in and ran 3 touchdowns on us in less than about 5 minutes. And that sucks, but they did it.
Right. Let's talk about a little bit of the bright spots. Obviously Tyrus Clegg, you see a big touchdown from him, and Gavin Bridgewater able to connect from the air. That's got to be good to see. Talk about some of those things. Also, anything that might have not been as apparent at first look that you guys saw as coaches as some of the silver linings or the bright spots from that West Marshall game.
The biggest silver lining was everybody got experience now. That's huge. I mean, for us, that's huge. We got eyes open because kids are like, oh my gosh, this is a varsity game. And that, some of them, they've never been involved. So us coaches preaching it to them and saying, we have to be intense, we have to go 100. They're like, okay, yeah. And now they understand, oh yeah. And I think that really showed in tonight's practice. These kids are like, I got to step my game up. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing is our guys that are backups right now, they stepped their game up tonight and they brought it. And that's going to make our number one guys better. And if not, we're going to change some positions. So that was huge. The other was just, some of our sophomores. Cody Bacher, Kinzer, Jeanette, and Tyrus Clegg, they came in and played. They got great minutes at that thing. So that's great experience. And another thing is I don't think there was a person on our sideline that didn't play.
Right.
So that's a silver lining. And, you don't like to go in that way, but it is what it is. And everybody got to play.
First game under center for Gavin Bridgewater. What was your takeaway assessment of him as his first outing as a varsity quarterback?
He's new. He's new. I mean, he's a runner. He wants to run. That's his first go-to. But he calmed down there in about the end of the second quarter and beginning of the third and started relaxing and started saying, oh, wait, okay, I got the feel of the game. I can take it over. You could almost see his body language change. I mean, he was kind of tense and kind of all over the place. And then he's like, okay, I kind of know what's going on. I got a feel for it. I know where my guys are at. And you've seen it, and it's there. And we've seen the spots, and it'll come. It'll come with time.
Looking ahead to this week, what are you guys working on in terms of improvements just for yourself, trying to be a better team than you were the week before? How does that look for you, and how are you game planning for the Saydel team on Friday?
We are just trying to be as intense as possible. We're not adding anything. We are trying to do everything we can do to be better. We are wanting better. We're not going to add anything. We're going to say, you know what, this is who we are, and we're going to get good at it. And we're going to be better at it, and we're going to be better at it against Saydel. And our plan is to get a win, get that confidence rolling, and go into the next week with being better again.
We saw a good amount of South Tama players kind of injury timeouts. I think probably a lot of cramps, it looked like. So I saw a lot of hamstrings getting stretched out there as those pauses happen throughout the game. How are you guys looking from an injury standpoint today? And I know it's early. We got a few days before Friday, but at this point, what's the injury situation look like for you guys?
So far, so good. Everybody, we did. Hydration was a big key. I think we had some kids that just weren't as hydrated as they needed to be and got a lot more, playing a varsity game is a lot more intense than the practice. And so we got some guys with hydration issues and then cramps. But otherwise, bumps and bruises, your typical football pains. But other than that, I think we're all good. I don't think we have there's nobody sitting out. We lost Keaton Sokol as the only person we lost as a DN. Third play in, he broke his wrist.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I feel awful. He's a junior. This is only his second year ever playing football, and he wants to be out there, but he's all smiles because he knows he's still part of this team, and everybody's embraced him pretty good, and he'll come back. He'll be back.
That's great. All right, well, best of luck to you out there on Friday against Saydel, and we'll be rooting for you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
That was South Tama head varsity football coach Nate Dorn.
Welcome in, South Tama Trojan fans. We're about 5 minutes away from kickoff. The STC Trojan band getting the crowd warmed up here. As South Tama taking on Saydel this evening in week 2 of the Iowa high school football season. Thank you to our sponsors, Mercy Care Tama. Mercy Care Tama is a proud sponsor of South Tama County high school sports. The dedicated staff at Mercy Care Tama offer you and your family the highest quality professional care enhanced by the Mercy Touch. Quickly going over your starters. First, for South Tama on defense. At cornerback, it'll be number 3, senior Pablo Montez, and number 11, Ethan Cruikshank. At a safety, number 8, Nolan Upa. Linebackers for the Trojans, number 9, junior Gavin Bridgewater. Number 29, Jacob Youngbear, a junior. Number 12, Cyrus Mathis. He's a junior. A D-end, number 10, Rudy Papaki. Number 34, cornerback Tyrus Clegg. And on the line, number 61, D-tackle Kyan McBride. And D-tackle Juan Robles. We're going to take a quick break while the national anthem plays. We'll be right back after this. Starters for the Saydel Eagles tonight. In no particular order, we've got number 2, Xander Potter. He's a halfback. Number 5, Jimmy Bridges will be the running back for the Eagles. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 165. Number 6, Colton Keller, a receiver. He's a junior. Number 11, quarterback, A.J. Olin. Playing both ways, under center and as a safety on the defense. He's 6'2", 155. Another receiver, number 12, Jonah Peak, a senior. Number 22, senior Isaac McClure. McClure starting on the defensive side. On the line for the Eagles, number 52, center Sadler Gruber. Number 55, Grady Godwin. Number 68, Cooper Hands. And number 70, Bennett Lund. Captains headed out to center field here for the ceremonial toss. We've got STC's Gavin Bridgewater from left to right. It's Bridgewater, Nolan Upaw, Ethan Cruikshank, Juan Robles, and Rudy Papaki. Robles, the practice captain from this past week's practice. We're going to hear a little bit more about the practice captains during the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance halftime show, so make sure to stick around for that. Quick look at these two teams. Saydel last week took a 71-0 loss against Clark and really got shut down in just about every way. Hard to see much of a silver lining from that performance, as the offensive line for the Eagles just was kind of a sieve for most of the game. And the only offensive production that the Eagles were able to put together were a few broken play passes that kind of got in the middle of the Clark defense, but they weren't able to get in the end zone, and I don't believe had much in the way of scoring drives either. So Saydel on an 11-game losing streak dating back to 2020. South Tama all-time is 12-0 against the Eagles, dating back to 1971. The closest contest that these two teams have had was in 2011, where a final score of 58-23 was rendered. Last season, STC won at Saydel on the road 33-0 and was one of the cornerstone wins for this Trojans team. South Tama, meanwhile, taking on West Marshall. Gavin Bridgewater, the leading rusher in that one for STC, 19 rushes, 100 yards. The lone touchdown came from a 21-yard pass between Bridgewater under center and sophomore wide receiver Tyrus Clegg. That came in the third quarter. Other rushers for the STC Trojans, Rudy Papaki rushed 7 times for 11 yards. Ethan Cruikshank 11 times for 13 yards. He had a couple nice-looking plays, got driven back, so I think his overall yardage reflects some of that. And here we are, ready to go for week 2 of the STC Trojan football season. South Tama will receive. Deep for the Trojans is number 11, Ethan Cruikshank, Tyrus Clegg, and in the far back there is Gavin Bridgewater. The kick is up. Bridgewater receives around the 15-yard line. Peeling off to the right. Getting a couple blocks. There he goes. And Bridgewater takes it all the way out to the 40-yard line to start things off for the STC Trojans. Saydel last week against Clark let a opening play, I think it was a 75-yard touchdown pass that opened the game. And we'll see if South Tama can get onto a similar swing here in the first quarter. Moments into the first period, South Tama on offense. It'll be Gavin Bridgewater under center for the Trojans. Bridgewater in the shotgun. And a quick whistle. I didn't see a flag out there, so I believe it's just going to be the officials making sure everybody's ready to go. South Tama in their wing tee with 2 halfbacks to block, and it's going to be Bridgewater to throw. He's looking deep. And he's got Tyrus Clegg deep down the left side. Clegg just short of the end zone. Excuse me, that was Rudy Papaki. So Rudy Papaki connecting with Bridgewater to take South Tama into scoring territory. Here's Bridgewater now. Behind him is Cruikshank. Bridgewater, quarter keeper, up the gut. And really nothing there from the Saydel defensive line. South Tama opens with a score. Eddie Garcia, the STC kicker, on to kick the PAT for South Tama in his first year doing the kicking duties for the Trojans. Garcia, a accomplished player on the STC soccer team. He boots it through, and South Tama will start this game 7-0. Quick thank you to S&S Car Wash. S&S Car Wash provides both automatic and hand wash services, as well as detailing for your vehicle. S&S Car Wash, your local car wash destination with convenient locations in Toledo and Tama. Also, thank you to State Bank of Toledo. 2022 marks the 95th year in business for the State Bank of Toledo since opening in 1927. The State Bank of Toledo supports its customers with loyal, friendly, and fair customer service. Member FDIC. So it was Gavin Bridgewater to Rudy Papaki to break things open on the first play of the game, and Bridgewater punches it through for a 1 to 2 yard goal line touchdown, and that'll make things 7-0. In the opening minute of action, South Tama already doing damage against Saydel here. Deep for the Eagles, number 12 and number 5. It's going to be Jimmy Bridges. Picks it up. A short kick by Garcia just past the 25-yard line will set Saydel up in their own territory. So we'll get the first look at the STC defense here. Saydel with 3 receivers to the far side. A.J. Olin, the quarterback, with Bridges, the lone back in the backfield. A low snap. Olin lets it go. Looping pass falls incomplete. And that was just a mistake there by number 6, Colton Keller. A drop pass will make it 2nd and 10. And honestly, probably the incomplete saved a few negative yards on that play as Olin scrambled after an errant snap, and it probably would have been met with a tackle for a loss. So that brings up 2nd and 10 for Saydel on the 30-yard line. Saydel again with trips to the far side. 1 receiver in the backfield. Here's A.J. Olin from the shotgun. Hand off to Bridges, straight up the middle, and Bridges has nowhere to go. Stopped by the South Tama front, and that's what Clark was able to do against the Saydel team last week. I think a cumulative, less than 50 yards. I got to see what it is here. Negative, okay. Negative 25 yards the Saydel team totaled in their game against Clark. So the rushing game for the Eagles struggling here early in this season. Here's Olin. He'll pass. A pass attempt to Keller again is long and incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down now, 4th and 9 after a 1-yard gain on that run by Bridges, and that'll bring out the punt team. Punter is number 12, Jonah Peak. Back deep for the Trojans. It'll be Ethan Crookshank. Crookshank, a shifty kind of a halfback slot receiver type, can play all different places as a skill player for the Trojans. He's back deep to receive the punt. Diego Victor and a couple of Trojans, I think, got maybe just a finger on the punt as it went away. And the ball will roll just beyond the 40-yard line into South Tama territory, was where South Tama will start things off here in their second drive. Now here's South Tama with a little bit of a different look, splitting receivers off to the far side. Papaki in the backfield now. We saw the wing T in that first opening drive. Papaki, just barrels through 2 defenders, puts his shoulder right into Colton Keller, and gets near a first down. That was about a run of 6-7 yards there. .29 on the clock in the first quarter. It's South Tama leading 7-0 against Saydel here in week 2. Trojans on their home opener. Now back to that compact 3 running back option. A pitch to Crookshank. Crookshank gets a block, and he's off to the races. First down, South Tama. Ethan Crookshank getting the ball into Saydel territory just near the 50-yard line. And that was a block, I believe, by Rudy Papaki that set up that run by Crookshank. Papaki in the deep backfield now. Crookshank in the slot with Jeremy Dolash also in the far receiver position. It's going to be a carry for Papaki, and he breaks off 5 yards. And these skill players for South Tama, really some athleticism, some big bodies in the backfield, clearing the way for the Trojan run game. A 4-yard run will set up 2nd and 6 on the 47. For the Trojans. Nolan Upaw lines up on the far side. Papaki in the backfield. Clean snap to Bridgewater. Bridgewater under pressure. Scrambles from the pocket. He's going to keep it. Bridgewater, 2 defenders to beat. First down. Puts his shoulder down for another couple yards. And Gavin Bridgewater, a big quarterback keeper, to press the Trojans downfield here in this first quarter. That'll bring up 1st and 10 with the ball on the 32-yard line. Rudy Papaki, inside carry again for the Trojans. That'll bring up 2nd and 4 now on the 26-yard line. Here's Papaki now in the backfield again. South Tama, we heard from Coach Dorn in the pregame, said he's really not looking to change much up here in week 2, so we're going to be seeing a lot of this wing T power run game up the middle with some of these bigger running backs. However, probably the biggest pass play of Papaki's career as a running back. He splits out wide for the Trojans and puts STC in scoring position early in the first quarter. We're now at 7:45 on the clock. Saydel putting up a couple stops here to bring up a 3rd down situation, but it's 3rd and short. 3rd and 2 on the 23-yard line as South Tama inching their way into the red zone. A quick handoff to Papaki. Papaki through 2 defenders, didn't even get touched that time, and finally gets dragged to the ground after a first down near the 15. So a 1st and 10 run by Rudy Papaki will give South Tama a fresh set of downs. South Tama with 2 receivers off to the right. Bridgewater rolling, dumps it off. Oh, and it's an incomplete pass there. just rushed the throw. I think if he would have given himself a couple more seconds, he could have got a clean pass off to Papaki. He was wide open in the flat there. But it'll be incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 10 in the first quarter. The Trojans leading 7-0 after a big pass play from Bridgewater to Papaki, set up a quarterback keeper on the goal line. Bridgewater punched it in for the first score for the Trojans, and that brings us to where we are here, the second drive for the South Tama Trojans offense. But they're threatening right into the red zone now. South Tama, 2nd and 10 on the 15. Bridgewater, pitch out to Papaki. Rudy Papaki through 2-3 defenders, and finally a pile is able to drag him down, but that'll be near a first down and into a goal line situation. And South Tama really getting everything they're looking for here in this first period. First and goal on the 4-yard line, I should say, with 6:30 on the clock. South Tama looking to make it 2 scores. A low snap, recovered by Bridgewater, hand off to Papaki, and Papaki dives forward for a 2-yard scramble. Brought down short of the goal line. And no sense in working in any kind of trick plays. I think this front for the Saydel defense is penetrable, to say the least, right now. And I think if South Tama can just keep hammering away, they're gonna find their way into the end zone sooner or later. Here's 2nd down now, 2nd and goal. Bridgewater, a handoff to Papaki again. This time Papaki, touchdown, Trojans. So a goal line rush by Rudy Papaki makes it 13-0 South Tama. Garcia is good once more from PAT, and that'll make it 14-0. So South Tama up 2 touchdowns here midway into the first quarter. And South Tama head coach Nate Doran and the staff for the Trojans could not be happier with this start. Quick thank you to Medicap Pharmacy. Medicap Pharmacy in Toledo offers free medication packaging and free delivery to surrounding areas with convenient drive-up service and hours on Saturday morning. Medicap Pharmacy is always there for you. Call 484-6198 or stop by their location across from Fairway in Toledo. Thanks to Medicap Pharmacy for their support this season. So South Tama caps off a long drive. Really, it was mostly Papaki and Bridgewater biting off the yards for the Trojans in that second drive down the field. It was Papaki to take it in for the touchdown on a goal line rush, and that'll make it 14-0 with 5:45 on the clock here. Garcia to kick off now for the Trojans. A deep kick this time received by Judah Locke. Locke for the Eagles brings it up about 10-15 yards and is finally stopped by the South Tama return team, or kickoff team, excuse me. And so again, Saydel will be starting deep in their own territory on the 20-yard line. Last week, as we said earlier, the Eagles unable to get positive yardage in their run game. They finished with negative 25 yards total. We saw one rush attempt in the first series that was stopped right at the goal line. Everything else was a pass play, and it was a quick 3 and out. Here's A.J. Olin with Swafford and McClure in the backfield. Olin under pressure, scrambling, gets around 2 defenders, but brought down near the line of scrimmage. Tackled by Crookshank as he comes out of the defensive backfield from a cornerback spot, and Jacob Youngbear also linebacker in on that tackle. And so that'll actually be a loss on that play, a 2-yard loss, setting up 2nd and 12 with the ball on the 24. A.J. Olin, the quarterback, in the shotgun. Oh, my goodness. And this Saydel team, I tell you, you feel for the kids, but what we're seeing right now is not competitive football. I just watched A.J. Olin, the quarterback for Saydel, not even in an athletic type of way. I don't even know how to describe that. That he kind of just stepped back as if he were walking to the grocery store and just kind of heaved the ball toward a receiver. The receiver wasn't even looking, and the ball just dropped to the turf. That'll bring up 3rd and 12 on the 24. Now Olin connecting to Keller. Colton Keller takes it for about an 8-yard scramble. Hey, maybe you heard me that time. And there's Saydel now with A.J. Olin connecting to Colton Keller with a little pass underneath. But that'll bring up 4th down. So that 3rd down play ended up being, or excuse me, the 2nd down play ended up being pretty consequential there. The incomplete now brings up a 4th down. And so we'll see if Saydel's going to go for it early. 4th and 2 on the 35 it is for the Eagles. Olin scrambled out of the pocket. Pressure by Robles and Victor. And Olin just kind of tiptoeing around the South Tama bodies, but he's brought down short of the 1st down, and that'll be a turnover. So South Tama gets to start things off on their 3rd drive on the 35-yard line in Saydel territory. So a turnover on downs after a 4th down quarterback keeper is unsuccessful will set up South Tama on their 3rd drive of this first quarter. We got just under 4 minutes on the clock for South Tama. Plenty of time to put together another touchdown run, maybe even 2 if South Tama's lucky. Here's Bridgewater now. Quarterback keeper and up Interstate 80 practically through the Saydel defense. A gain of about 5. And that's really what we've been seeing from South Tama here. It's been 5 yards, 7 yards at a chunk, but there's really been no resistance at the line from this Saydel defensive line. And South Tama has capped it off and capitalized with 2 touchdowns coming off of goal line run plays. Now here's Bridgewater and company, 2nd and 4 on the 30. Bridgewater pitches off to Cruikshank. Cruikshank headed to the sideline, trying to turn the corner, and he's got a 1st down and more. Ethan Cruikshank, probably the speediest player in the backfield for the South Tama Trojans. So adding a little bit of flavor, if you want to say it that way, between Bridgewater and Papaki, kind of built like linebackers in the backfield. Bridgewater gives them a little more playmaking ability, a little more quickness. And he gets the 1st down there. That brings up 1st and 10 on the 18. Same formation for the Trojans. Bridgewater's going to keep it. Again, a huge running lane to get through. And Bridgewater near a 1st down once again. Make sure to stick around for the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance halftime show. We're going to look through the past week ahead. South Tama got off to a great start. It's been a really nice start for the fall athletic programs, as the football team had a competitive game against West Marshall, but it was the volleyball team. They're 5-2 after some nice wins to start week 1 and then into week 2. And the cross-country team, the boys team, really looking strong. Tommy Tynisma and James Brandt getting a 1-2 finish at the last meet there. And there's Gavin Bridgewater taking it in for a touchdown on a quarterback keeper. South Tama into the end zone once again. Oh, excuse me there. I think that might be, no, short of the touchdown, excuse me. So Bridgewater's rush takes them right outside the goal line. 2nd and goal on the 1. And South Tama into the wing T now with 2 backs kind of angled towards the offensive line. It's a handoff to Crookshank. Crookshank into the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. Ethan Crookshank gets his first touchdown tonight. $20-0 the score here. We still have 2:25 on the clock in the first quarter, and South Tama getting everything they want tonight. Here's another extra point attempt by Garcia. This one just scoots under the crossbar, and it's good for another point after. That'll make it 21-0. South Tama on top. Thank you to Gary Bach State Farm Insurance. Are you sick and tired of paying such high rates on your farm insurance? Well, Gary Bach State Farm in Toledo has some news you've been waiting for. Rain or shine, State Farm's surprisingly great rates offer the relief you need with the support you can trust. Gary Bach State Farm Agency. Call and ask for a free quote today. And when you mention Trojan Country, when you go in for a free quote over there at Gary Bach State Farm in Toledo, you're going to get a free gift. So make sure to mention Trojan Country the next time you're into Gary Bach State Farm Insurance. Thank you to all of our sponsors this evening. Quickly, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, S&S Car Wash, State Bank of Toledo, Medicap Pharmacy, Appraisal and Real Estate Services, The Pump and Tama, Assured Partners in Toledo, and Dallas Burham Exit Holes Realty. Thank you to all of their support, bringing you STC football and volleyball this fall season. Now a short kickoff by the Trojans, picked up by Saydel, and it's going to be Saydel's best field position here on their third drive. That was Tate Laus, a freshman, picking up the extra point. Excuse me, the special teams return there. So a short kick by Garcia, picked up by Tate Laus, and that will set up Saydel just beyond the 50-yard line into Trojan territory. So this is the first time we've seen the Eagles even sniff South Tama territory in the first quarter. 2:21 on the clock in the first. South Tama leading 21-0 as Saydel will start their third drive. Here's A.J. Olin receiving from the shotgun. Scrambles. Throwing deep. That looks like it could be intercepted. South Tama interception. Turnover will bring the ball back to the Trojans. That was STC's Tyrus Clegg. Got a touchdown in week 1, an interception in week 2. And this sophomore is breaking out here for this South Tama team. Interception, South Tama will set the Trojans up on their own, looks like 37-yard line, 33. Officials talking things over here, so we might get this called back. I don't know. I haven't seen a flag, so that might, I believe that would change things up, but it looks like we are going to move forward. South Tama ball after the interception by Tyrus Clegg gives South Tama a long field to work with, but 2 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. The Trojans already a big play early on to start the game and all kinds of success in the run game. So let's see if the South Tama offense here can run a good 2-minute drill. Here's Bridgewater looking deep, checks a couple options, down deep, and it'll be incomplete again. Looking for Papaki that time. Again, that kind of same route along the left side. Papaki open, but just overthrown by Bridgewater. Some pressure coming from the Saydel front. Kind of push the envelope a little bit in the backfield. So that'll bring up 2nd and 10 after the incomplete ball on the 33. Bridgewater and company up to the line. Cruikshank in the backfield now with Mathis and Papaki and the halfback. Pitch off to Cruikshank, and he's off to the races. Cruikshank weaving and dodging, and he might be gone. Oh, and he's dragged to the ground near the 15-yard line, but Ethan Cruikshank just breaks off a huge run into Saydel territory, and this South Tama team is rolling here in the first quarter. First and 10 on the 16-yard line now. And all of a sudden, South Tama is knocking on the door once again. Clegg into the slot, Dolash to the far side, and Nolan Upaw will be on the near side for the receivers for South Tama. Bridgewater looking to throw. He's going to tuck and run. Quarterback keeper. Bridgewater still on his feet, working his way right, looking for the end zone. Touchdown, South Tama. And it's too easy right now for this South Tama team. It's another touchdown. (27-0). The score, and Eddie Garcia getting a lot of work here from the PAT position. He's been 3 for 3. We'll see if he can get another one. Garcia, that time no good, and so the score will stay at 27-0. South Tama, after a run that made it look easy from Gavin Bridgewater, will be the 4th touchdown of the first quarter here for the South Tama Trojans. Thank you to Appraisal and Real Estate Services. Licensed agents Mandy Leakin and Jason Leakin in Tama, Toledo are the one to count on for all your residential, commercial, and farm real estate needs. For most of us, buying a home is one of the largest investments of a lifetime. Choosing the right professional can save you time and make home buying a smooth process. Call 641-751-3021 to find out how the team at Appraisal and Real Estate Services can serve you. Thanks to those folks for their support this year. And make sure to stick around. We got all kinds of action coming your way. The Gary Bach State Farm Insurance halftime show. We're going to take a look at the volleyball team and the cross-country team from this week. We got a special feature from the practice captains from the Trojans football team. All kinds of fun stuff to get to at halftime. So stick around. Kickoff by the Trojans is going to again set the Eagles up in their own backyard. Return out to the 35-yard line. And Saydel will see what they can put together, but it has really been difficult for this Saydel team. 27-0, the score, a minute 15 on the clock. And A.J. Olin and company back on offense. Olin with McClure and Swafford in the backfield. Pitches off to Swafford. Swafford finds a running lane, and that might be the first down. That was McClure, excuse me. Isaac McClure getting the first down conversion for this Eagles offense. McClure, one of just a few returning starters to contribute to last year's Saydel team. The Eagles graduating several seniors off their roster, and McClure kind of returning as one of the contributors from last year's squad. 1st and 10 now, under a minute to go. A low snap, hand off to Swafford, and a flag on the play. That's the first flag we've seen, as Swafford brought down near the 50-yard line, well short of a first down. Damian Castellanos running the play on for South Tama as Papaki heads to the bench for a breather. 46 seconds on the clock. And we'll see if Saydel's going to let it run out. A penalty will go against the Eagles. Holding on Saydel brings up 1st and 20 on the 38-yard line for the Eagles. Probably air it out territory now with the clock running. 1st and long. A pitch off to McClure. McClure again finds room to run. Brings it back up almost to where he brought it the first time. And gets dragged down by Upa and Clegg on the tackle. And that'll bring up 2nd and short. Or 2nd and 1 into South Tama territory once again. But it looks like the first quarter clock might run out. They might get one more play, 10 seconds to go. Olin looking to snap. One more play here, a handoff to McClure to see if he can pound it through for a first down. And that might be short. It's whistled down near the 45-yard line, and they're going to call it a first down. 0.1 seconds on the clock here, so we're going to let the last millisecond run off the first quarter clock. And that's it for the first quarter. South Tama 27-0 in the first. Thank you to The Pump in Tama. The Pump is Tama Toledo's #1 bar and grill located in downtown Tama at 218 West 3rd Street. The Pump serves up cold drinks, a warm atmosphere, and an amazing lunch on the regular. On September 17, during the Tama Toledo Car Show, make sure to check out their Best Burger Hamburger Contest. You can stop down by The Pump for all the details or to sign up if you'd like to compete. Thanks to The Pump for their support this season. Also, thank you to Assured Partners in Toledo, your local independent agency specializing in home, auto, business, farm, and crop insurance. The team at Assured Partners in Toledo have been serving the South Tama community since 1948 and continue to deliver innovative products and solutions to meet clients' precise needs. Call 641-351-6976 to learn more. So on that first drive, that first quarter, South Tama opened up with a huge pass play from Bridgewater to Papaki to set up a touchdown. A short rush by Bridgewater got South Tama on the board first. Then it was a long drive by the STC offense on their second attempt, capped off by a rushing touchdown by Rudy Papaki. Everything from the Trojans' offense so far as scoring, has come on the ground. The second touchdown was courtesy of Ethan Cruikshank, who had a couple big running plays in the first quarter. It was a turnover on downs that set up that drive, the third drive for South Tama. And it was Cruikshank for the touchdown. And then an interception by Tyrus Clegg late in the first set up South Tama for one more run. Ethan Cruikshank got a big run to take South Tama into scoring territory, and Bridgewater got the touchdown. So that's how we got to where we are here. South Tama now still on defense, 1st and 10 for the Eagles, and that was Colton Keller running east and west, and he's brought down by a host of Trojans near the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 on the 44-yard line is Saydel, just trying to get something going here in the first half. Earlier in the pregame, we had South Tama's dance team doing an early season performance. They're underway with their season this year. Also, the STC marching band getting in some action during the national anthem. We're going to be seeing their show later in the season as their competition season starts up here before too long. There's Isaac McClure taking a run down near a first down marker. McClure rushing up the left side. Will bring up 3rd down for Saydel. Third and 4 on the 37. It's now 3rd down here for Saydel. Two receivers with a full backfield. Olin, the quarterback, nowhere to go and just dumps it off. And it'll be incomplete. Now 4th down for Saydel. We've seen Saydel go for it on 4th in the first quarter. We might see it again here. I don't see a punter headed back to kick. And deep into, well into South Tama territory now. Might be a risk worth taking here. McClure will get wrapped up near the line of scrimmage, brought down, and another turnover on downs will bring South Tama's offense back on the field. So some nice work by the South Tama front. We'll bring up the STC offense for their first look of the second quarter. Rudy Papaki again lining up wide. We saw him get a deep pass in the first period. We'll see if South Tama is going to attempt it again. Bridgewater looking to throw under pressure. Gets it down to Nolan Upaw. Upaw gets through 2 tackles. He's got an open field in front of him. That's Nolan Upaw going in for the touchdown. South Tama in the end zone once again. Senior captain Nolan Upaw had a touchdown in his Saydel game last season. He strikes again in week 2. Nice heads-up play by Gavin Bridgewater to kind of keep the play alive, get the ball in the air, and not the prettiest looking throw, but it got the job done, and Nolan Upaw, a nice run after the catch, takes it into the end zone, evading 2 different defenders, and then off to the races he went. Flag out on the extra point attempt. False start against South Tama is the call. And so they'll walk it back and try it again. Garcia getting a little longer look now. (33-0) early into the second quarter. We're going to have a running clock likely to start the second half if Saydel cannot get themselves in order. Garcia's kick, nice looking kick that time is, oh, excuse me, no, he must have went wide. Pardon me, the kick is incomplete there for Garcia, and that will keep the score 33-0 here in the second period. Thanks to Dallas Berm Exit Holes Realty. When you're looking for a new home or farmland, why not seek the counsel of a friend and expert? Dallas Berm and Exit Holes Realty can answer all your questions about the home buying process. Exit Holes Realty knows Trojan country better than anyone and can provide the kind of service you've been looking for. Call Dallas Berm at 319-360-1592 to start looking for your new home. And remember, buy with Berm. Thanks to all of our sponsors taking us live here for this South Tama football season. The Trojans up big against Saydel, looking to get into a winning way here as we march towards district play. Here's the kickoff by Garcia. Falls at the feet of Colton Keller. That time picked up by Jimmy Bridges, but he has nowhere to go, and he's just flattened near the 5-yard line. That was 25 Cody Blocker capping off that return tackle. But a misstep by Saydel once again. sets them up in a precarious situation near their own end zone. So 1st and 10 now for Saydel on the 5. A.J. Olin, the quarterback, under center. Tucks and runs. Olin off to the right. And is knocked to the ground by Castellanos. And that will set up 2nd down now for the Trojans. 2nd and 6. Deep into Saydel territory. The Eagles struggling here after a botched kick return. Leaves them with not much to work with here and a long field to go. The Eagles will split off 3 receivers to the far side for A.J. Olin. He's only looked deep once or twice and has been under pressure for much of the game. Incomplete. And Olin will be sacked that time. And that was Kinzer Jeanette, another sophomore, getting in the action for South Tama. So Kinzer Jeanette, a sack. Sophomore Tyrus Clegg, an interception. And this sophomore class showing up and showing out here in week 2. Olin under pressure, scrambles, interception. That's Nolan Upaw. Just found the ball at the right time, and he comes down with an interception. And South Tama will once again be in red zone territory. So Nolan Upaw, just moments after catching a touchdown to start the 2nd quarter, comes up with an interception. And South Tama back on the field here with 8:47 on the clock in the 2nd quarter. The Trojans up big now, and we'll see who all can get involved. Here's Rudy Papaki in the slot for the Trojans. Papaki catches the pass from Bridgewater, drags about 3 Eagles tacklers with him, and will be near a 1st down. That's a big body to bring down in the flat, I tell you. And that will be a 1st down. So 1st and goal now for South Tama after the interception by Upaw. The nice run after the catch by Papaki. 1st and goal on the 6. South Tama threatening. The Trojans back in the wing tee. Goal line offense here. Papaki in motion. He'll catch the pitch off the right side. And he just goes straight through 2-3 different Saydel Eagles and into the end zone. And a flag will be out. So that might set things back here. I think it's going to be against South Tama. And we'll try things again. But South Tama has really not had much to worry about in this first half against Saydel. The line has opened up all kinds of running lanes to work with. South Tama's gotten their passing game going. And it'll be 5-yard penalty marked off against the Trojans. I didn't see a signal from the official there, so I'm not sure what it was that was called. But it'll be 1st and 16 on the 16. So now Bridgewater with Ethan Cruikshank in the backfield. A little option toss to Cruikshank. And Ethan Cruikshank just steps over a couple defenders, shoulders his way into the end zone. And oh, he got it done dirty, but he got it in the end zone. Ethan Cruikshank once again. 39-0 after the thunderous run by South Tama senior captain Ethan Cruikshank. 39-40 now after the point after. 40-0 the score. After the touchdown run by Ethan Cruikshank, this South Tama offense has been busy tonight against Saydel in week 2. But they've been rewarded for their efforts. Every time down the field, South Tama's gotten in the end zone. All kinds of different players getting involved. And we see smiles on the South Tama sideline. Coach Bridgewater, Coach Dorn, having a good time with the players here. And after a tough loss, a lot of injuries against West Marshall to start in week 1, it's a bit of a relief here as South Tama has a fun and big first half, up 40-0 with 8 minutes to go in the second period. Here's the kickoff by Garcia. Will be received, bobbled again. This time it was Landon Soma, a freshman, on the return. He's unable to come away clean with it, and he'll be brought down near the 20-yard line after a short run. And so now South Tama, see if they can convert one more time, get in the end zone once again before, I'd say at least 2 times if they can get moving. Another short field to work with for this Saydel offense. They've been backed into their own red zone territory the last 2 times out, and it's going to be the same story here midway into the second. 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line. A.J. Olin still under center as the quarterback. Handoff to McClure. He's had some success up the middle, but he's kind of wrapped up and brought down ultimately for maybe no gain. He was forward there, but kind of went sideways, and a short gain there. Second down will come up now. A couple yards. 2nd and 5 on the field for this Saydel offense. Make sure to stick around for the Gary Box State Farm Insurance halftime show. We're going to talk about South Tama's cross-country early season success, the volleyball team having some good action, and we're going to hear about the practice captains and have a special player feature from STC football captain Rudy Papaki. So all kinds of fun stuff coming up during halftime. Make sure to stick with us. Short run on 2nd down, short of the 1st down. That'll bring up 3rd and 3 on the Saydel 29-yard line. Third and 3. On a sultry night here in Tama, the temperatures are up after a beautiful start to the first week. We've got a warm one here tonight at Trojan Field. There's a 1st down by Saydel's run game. Jimmy Bridges actually catching a short pass that time, so Bridges getting most of the work done after the catch, and that'll convert for a 1st down, 1st and 10 for Saydel on the 37-yard line. And South Tama just needs to keep their foot on the gas here. But the offense already superseding what was done last year. It was a 33-0 final score against Saydel in 2021, and it's already 40-0 here in the first half. And an incomplete pass on 1st down. That was just bobbled around a few times and falls to the turf. Diego Victor running the play on for South Tama now. Had a sack in week 1. Been a successful transfer over from Meskwaki Settlement School. The Warriors this season having to take a year off from their football program after low numbers kind of caused a hiatus to occur for their football program, but we'll hope to see them back on the field in the next year. Almost a tackle for a loss there on that 1st down. Juan Robles, the practice captain, in on the in on the tackle. Bridge is the running back, and again, we really have not seen much in the way of positive yardage from the run game from Saydel. A conversion on a short pass brings them near the 50-yard line now, but it'll be 3rd and 9 on the 48 for A.J. Olin and company. Olin unable to pick up the snap that time. I just think he wasn't quite ready for it. As it snapped, it went to the grass, and he just kind of fingertipped it for a moment and couldn't bring it up, and just ultimately fell on it for 3rd down. So that'll bring up 4th and long. 4th and 14 with the clock running now. So we've got continuous clock happening here in the second quarter. And South Tama will bring on their punt return unit. It's Ethan Crookshank set deep for South Tama. A whistle before we get the kick. And the officials, I think, just wanting to confer with the Saydel punt unit. I don't see a flag out, so I don't believe there's going to be a... Oh, no, we did have a penalty, so we're going to march back. I didn't see where that... Okay, so flag was thrown in the backfield. And so we're going to redo 4th down. We're going to tack on 5 more yards to this punt situation. And a high snap sends the ball to number 12, and a tackle will turn the ball over on downs. Jonah Peak unable to handle the high snap there, and Peak is brought down in the backfield on 4th down, and that'll turn things over once again. So South Tama right back in familiar territory on the doorstep of the Saydel goal line. 1st and goal on the 8 after the fourth down conversion. We've got 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes to go as the sun is almost set here over Trojan Field. The 2-minute warning as we'll have a quick timeout. If you own a farm, you owe it to yourself to stop in or call Gary Bach to get a free quote on your farm insurance coverage. You work too hard to spend too much on your farm insurance. Give Gary Bach and his knowledgeable staff a call at 641-484-3163 for a free quote today. And make sure to mention Trojan Country when you head in for a free quote over at Gary Bach State Farm in Toledo. You'll get a free gift when you go in. That's Trojan Country next time you're over at State Farm for a free quote. Coming out of the timeout, South Tama 1st and goal on the 8-yard line. We've got 2 minutes on the clock to see if South Tama can put it in the end zone one more time. Goal line unit on for the Trojan offense. Jeremy Dolash in under center. He's going to pitch it off. Some second stringers here. And Bridgewater in for the touchdown. So Dolash handling the quarterback duties, and it's Gavin Bridgewater to put it through for the 8-yard touchdown run. Jeremy Dolash getting some run late in the West Marshall game last week after Bridgewater was sidelined with an injury. He's going to be South Tama's backup option under center this year. Now Eddie Garcia on for the PAT. Missed the last one. We'll see if he can get one to go here. Garcia, kick is up, and it's good. Eddie Garcia makes the score 46-0 after the run by Gavin Bridgewater. Thank you to Mercy Care Tama. Mercy Care Tama is a proud sponsor of South Tama County High School sports. The dedicated staff at Mercy Care Tama offer you and your family the highest quality professional care enhanced by the Mercy Touch. Also, thank you to SNS Car Wash. SNS Car Wash provides both automatic and hand wash services as well as detailing for your vehicle. SNS Car Wash, your local car wash destination with convenient locations in Toledo and Tama. Thank you to SNS Car Wash. So the goal line run by Gavin Bridgewater extends the lead to 47 to 0 now. As South Tama up big here in the second quarter against Saydel. Kick return brought down short of the 30-yard line. Daryl Hill on the tackle for South Tama. And that'll set up the Eagles once again in their own territory with a minute and a half to go. The STC marching band gathering in the end zone, getting ready to come on and perform. Their contest season starting late in September, so keep that in the back of your mind if you want to go out and see and cheer on the Trojan marching band. They're going to be out for, I think, 4 or 5 different contests on Saturdays throughout September and October. Isaac McClure, the rusher for Saydel here on first down. But he's brought down near the line of scrimmage. And that'll bring up second down. Under a minute now to go as we see the seconds tick off. Here's A.J. Olin on a quarterback keeper into a pile of Trojans, and he's brought down. Daryl Hill, the tackler for the South Tama Trojans. And the Eagles going to call a timeout with 23 seconds to go here in the second period. Stay with us here for the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance Halftime Show. We got all kinds of fun stuff coming your way. We're going to talk South Tama cross country and volleyball. We've got a special feature with STC captain Rudy Papaki, and we're going to hear about the practice captains from this week's South Tama football squad. That's the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance Halftime Show coming your way in a few moments. Thank you to Iowa Premium. Located in the heart of corn and cattle country, Iowa Premium procures and processes only corn-fed Black Angus cattle that come hand-selected from family farms in Iowa and neighboring states. As Tama County's largest employer, the team at Iowa Premium are an anchor not only in the beef industry, but throughout eastern and central Iowa. Thanks to Iowa Premium for their support this season. Out of the timeout now. South Tama leading 47-0 with 23 seconds on the clock. Saydel maybe time for 1 or 2 more plays if they're going to try and be efficient here, but all kinds of work to be done. Here comes a long pass opportunity. Olin lets it go, and that is number 82, Trevor Good, coming up with the longest reception, the longest offensive play of the game so far for this Saydel front. Good went up, bobbled it once, and came down with it on his back. And another timeout as Saydel going to talk things over and see if they can put one more play together. South Tama Music Boosters in action during the pregame for the annual STC Music Barbecue. Always a fun and interactive fundraiser for the STC community as the music programs gearing up for another big trip this spring. Been several years since South Tama was able to get kids out to a longer music field trip, as has been the tradition for many years, and they're ready to go in this 22-23 school year. So now 12 seconds on the clock, out of the timeout. Saydel 1st and 10 on the 41-yard line. They got a big pass play to get them into Trojan territory, and a whistle and a flag near the line of scrimmage. False start will be against Saydel. So some missteps will kind of shoot things in the foot for Saydel here. A 5-yard penalty will set up 1st and 15 on the 46-yard line. So still in Trojan territory, but a long way to go and not much time on the clock. Just over 10 seconds on the clock now. Olin rolling, rushing through the pocket. Overthrows his intended receiver. It was Colton Keller. And a flag down. Now, again, we had just had a flag a moment ago. Pretty penalty light first half here on both sides. But as we get close to the halftime, we've seen some flags kind of come into the mix. And so another penalty here. The officials conferring in the middle of the field as we await first down. 3 seconds on the clock now after that last play went off. That penalty against South Tama, so that will gain some ground back now for Saydel. 1st and about a long 2, I would say. A.J. Olin rolling left, looking deep. Tyrus Clegg almost able to come up with it, but that's going to be a complete pass. Saydel short of a touchdown. Colton Keller that time comes away with it, but that's going to be it, as South Tama holds Saydel scoreless through the first half. And with that, that brings us into halftime. It's the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance halftime show as South Tama marching band comes on to entertain the crowd here. Did you know that State Farm is the largest small business insurer in the country? Call Agent Gary Bach in Tama, Toledo to see how State Farm can help you offset the risks of being a small business owner. Rest easy. The team at Gary Bach State Farm have your back. Call 641-484-3163 today. And remember to mention Trojan Country when you go in for your free quote over at Gary Bach State Farm in Toledo. Thanks to their support of the halftime show. Real quick here, we're going to go through a couple of other fall programs here that have had some success in the early going here of this 2022 season. The South Tama cross country team started their year at the Marshalltown Early Bird Meet on August 25th. The STC boys finished 3rd in that contest with a host of teams from Class 4A on down to 1A. So a big meet and a big finish there for the STC boys. They came up with a 78-point finish in 3rd behind Southeast Polk and Grundy Center Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Both of those teams perennial state contenders. South Tama boys looking for their first trip to the state cross-country tournament. It was Tommy Tynisma and James Brandt leading the way, the 2 juniors for South Tama. At Marshalltown, it was Tynisma finishing 2nd with a time of 16:36 and James Brandt finishing 5th with a time of 17:07. But bringing up the middle for this South Tama boys cross-country team, Braxton Roars, nearly a top 10 finish at Marshalltown. He comes in 11th. Another junior finishing with an 18:20 time. Cade Rosenberger, another junior, finishing 25th with 19:10 on his finish clock. And then Caden Kopsa, 35th. Barrett Jacina, a freshman, finished 38th. And 39th was Holden Shermer, finishing 11th. Then a few days later, it was South Tama traveling to Williamsburg for the Williamsburg meet on August 30th. The STC boys finished second in that contest behind Newton, who had 67 points. South Tama came away with 75 points, well ahead of the third-place finisher, Oskaloosa. Other schools in attendance also included Benton, Williamsburg, Linville, Sully, Springville, Montezuma, Davis County, Belle Plaine, and PCM, so a whole different host of contenders there. South Tama came away with a first and second place finish. Tynesma finishing first with a 16:48 time. Brant finishing second with a 17:16 time. So South Tama coming up with a second place finish. They were without Braxton Roars in that contest. So it was Cade Rosenberger finishing 11th with an 18:57 time. Then Barrett Jacina 27th, Kopsa 24th, Shermer 39th, and Cale Graff getting into the starting lineup for the Trojans, finishing 47th. On the girls' side, South Tama, a lighter year as terms of participation. So far, it's been 2 girls who have been competing on the varsity squad. It's been Kayla Heck, a junior, and Maylee Ellsbury. At Marshalltown, Heck finished 14th, Ellsbury 15th, and at Williamsburg, Heck finished 25th and Ellsbury 31st. Next up for South Tama, the Trojans cross-country team will travel to Grinnell, to Aaron's Park for that annual Grinnell meet. That'll be Tuesday, September 6th after the Labor Day holiday. And then on Monday, September 12th, it'll be the STC Invitational right here going in and around Trojan Field. They start over near the South Tama practice field and soccer field. It's going to be Baxter, BCLUW, Colonesco, East Marshall, GMG, Grinnell, Grundy Center, Meskwaki, North Tama, South Hardin, and West Marshall for the STC Invitational. So that'll be your one chance to get out and cheer on the Trojans cross-country team at home this season. Make sure you do that. This is a special season, folks, for this STC boys team. We've got some contenders on this roster. We've got 2 state runners in Tynesma and Brant that were coming back after a trip there in their sophomore seasons, and we've got kids filling up the middle of that roster that are going to make things real interesting for this cross-country team. So make sure to support them and check them out. You're listening to the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance Halftime Show. If you own a farm, you owe it to yourself to stop in or call Gary Bach to get a free quote on your farm coverage. You work too hard and spend too much on your farm insurance. Give Gary Bach and his knowledgeable staff a call at 641-484-3163 for a free quote today. Thanks to Gary Bach State Farm Insurance for their support during this fall season. And with that, we are going to head over to a special feature where we talk to South Tama football captain Rudy Papaki earlier this week. We're going to highlight each of the captains in this fall season. And so first up, it will be Rudy Papaki.
You're listening to Trojan Country. Today we are focusing on South Tama High School football captain Rudy Papaki. Rudy, thanks for making some time for us today. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great. We're just wrapping up practice for you guys here on a Tuesday night. Tell me a little bit about yourself. How long you been playing football? Yeah, tell me a little bit about your football history.
I've been playing my whole life, and ever since middle school, I've been wanting to play on the varsity my freshman year, and I achieved that.
Yeah. Did you always know kind of what position you wanted to play? Did it move around for you as you got older? How did that go?
Yeah, when I got older, it kind of like moved around because of my weight, going up and down a lot.
Yeah.
But I like where I'm at now as a running back.
Yeah. How has that experience, like you got varsity experience early on, how has that been different from your freshman year to now? What would you say sticks out as the things that have been most different?
Just my game overall. I feel like it's like improved over these past 4 years.
And so now you find yourself, you're a captain, a part of the leadership, of the players within this group. What do you think that leadership looks like here in this South Tama football group of guys?
Making everybody on like our level, We don't want nobody lowballing where everybody else is up higher than people.
Talk to me a little bit about the off season. How did you prepare this summer, even earlier on into the spring? What did the lead up to this football season look like for you particularly?
Just a lot of weightlifting, speed work, and then going to a lot of camps over the summer.
You did?
Yeah.
What did you any big takeaways from those camp experiences? Any things that you kind of got back here and you're like, oh man, things are different now that I've gotten to see some different things?
Yeah, like different coaches give me different views on how to do different things. So that helped a lot.
Talking about this team this season, as one of the captains, what do you feel like this group needs to do to get wins, to just improve upon where you're at right now?
We just can't come out scared, because that's what we did against West Marshall, and we've seen what happened. So this next game we got to just come out right away.
Yep. What are some of your goals for this season, for the last year of your football career in high school?
Just make it something to remember.
All right, well, best of luck to you, and thanks for taking some time for us. That was South Tama High School football captain Rudy Papaki.
Thank you so much.
You're listening to the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance Halftime Show. Darvin Graham live with you from Trojan Field as South Tama leading 47-0 here in the first half. I'd like to quickly shout out the South Tama volleyball team. They've started their season with a 5-2 record. They've got dual wins against Grinnell and Montezuma coming on August 25 and August 29th. They have tournament wins at the Grinnell tournament against Carlisle, Washington, and Linville-Sully, and they won their silver bracket in that tournament. Their only losses have come against 3A number 3 West Liberty and 4A number 7 Clear Creek Amana. So the STC Trojans volleyball squad off and running. Next up, they're going to be on the road tomorrow. They'll be at BCLUW for their annual tournament. BCLUW, Benton, Hudson, North Polk, and Wapsie Valley, along with South Tama, will be the squads for that Saturday meet. That's tomorrow. And then the first conference duel on the schedule, it'll be Clear Creek Amana hosting South Tama on Tuesday after Labor Day. Next weekend will be the GMG tournament, South Tama traveling over to Garwin for that annual tournament. The Trojans this season so far in the first couple of weeks have been led by Courtney Babinet, senior hitter for South Tama. She's got 44 kills on the season. Next up, it was Kaylia Laughlin, a sophomore, and Macy Welsh. Laughlin with 29 kills and Welsh with 23. In the backcourt for South Tama, they've been led by Babinet and Molly Wobiter, who have 45 and 40 digs apiece, respectively. And then from the service line, there's been several Trojans who have done well in the early going. Junior Gloria Mullen has 9 aces from the service line to lead the Trojans. Molly Wobiter with 8, and Skyla Beck and Macy Welsh each with 7 aces. So an exciting volleyball squad in action this season. A few opportunities to get a chance to get out and cheer them on at the Roundhouse this season. They'll be on the road in and around Tama County. So check your schedule, get out and root on the South Tama volleyball team. You're listening to the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance Halftime Show. Just about 9 minutes to go here before we get things underway in the third period. And before we do, we're going to talk a little bit about the practice captains for the STC football team. So one program that the STC football coaches have been running for the last few years has been a practice captain program where one player on the varsity roster will be promoted to captain each week to be recognized for their contributions during practice, their hustle, and we talked to STC head coach Nate Dorn earlier in the week about that. And so here's your practice captains for week 1 and week 2, talking with head coach Nate Dorn. I'm here with STC head varsity coach Nate Dorn. Today we're recognizing the 2 practice captains that you had from last week during the West Marshall game and this week for the Saydel game. Nate, can you tell us a little bit about these 2 players and how they earned this recognition for the team this last couple weeks?
Yeah, no problem. We select a practice captain each week, and that goes to the hardest working player that isn't technically a captain at the moment. That could go to anybody at the varsity level, whether it be a sophomore, junior, or a senior. Last week happened to be Cayenne McBride. He worked his butt off. He was offensive lineman and defensive, both two-way started for us, and he did everything was expected. He hustled. He was a leader on the field and off the field, and then he did, his efforts even in conditioning was great. This week we chose Juan Rubiles, big guy. He's our big guy in the middle. We gave him a specific job to do this week, and he did it perfection. He disrupted our offense this week. He gave us a great look, and he worked his butt off. I mean, I had the kid for 3 years. It's probably the best practice I think he's ever had this week, so that's why he earned it.
All right, we're talking practice captains here with STC Coach Nate Dorn. Thanks a lot, Coach, and best of luck to you out there.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're listening to Trojan Country. It's the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance halftime show live from Trojan Field. South Tama up big against Saydel here at halftime. It's 47-0. Darvin Graham with you live from Trojan Field. And we say thank you to Gary Bach State Farm Insurance, our title sponsor for Trojan Country this fall season. Did you know that State Farm is the largest small business insurer in the country? Call agent Gary Bach in Tama, Toledo to see how State Farm can help you offset the risk of being a small business owner. Rest easy. The team at Gary Bach State Farm have your back. Call 641-484-3163 today. And make sure, as a special promotion, mention you saw and heard this ad on Trojan Country, and you'll get a free gift over at Gary Bach State Farm if you go in for a free quote today. And folks, I can tell you firsthand, Gary Bach State Farm Insurance, some excellent customer service. I'm a customer myself. About a year ago, I was looking for kind of shopping around for some options with my own home and auto insurance coverage. And Gary and his team, Gary just came to town as a new agent, got to know him a little bit. And I'll tell you, I was a little skeptical at first. I'm not one for a sales pitch all the time, but I know a lot of those folks in that office, and just getting to know Gary, I thought, hey, let's take a chance here, see what savings can be had, and it has been worth it. I've saved a good amount on my vehicle and on home insurance through Gary Bach State Farm, and encourage everyone out in Trojan Country to head in, get to know those folks. And thanks to their support for this halftime and fall season. I'd like to also take a moment to spotlight our Tama Toledo News Chronicle, our local newspaper. Make sure you go out and pick up this week's edition, a quick highlight of what you can find in this Tama Toledo News Chronicle edition this week. Reporter Vanessa Rodebush went out and talked to Sam Cox. She's running for the Iowa Senate in the South Tama district. And she's a newcomer to the political scene. So that's the cover story for the News Chronicle. Also a story about The Tama County Board of Supervisors, that's been a hot topic in the last 6 months. So here are the latest on what's been going on with the County Board of Supervisors and the wind turbine discussion here in Tama County. Also an article about an accident that happened in rural Toledo and a special feature on the the Windy Goat Acres over in Chelsea, a yoga and vacation retreat spot right here in Tama County. The Tama Toledo News Chronicle went out and attended one of their events. You can read all about that in the Tama Toledo News Chronicle, our local paper. Make sure you go over and subscribe. You can find copies over in all the grocery stores and convenience stores around town. There's a nice sports section that talks about the opening weeks of the volleyball and football season. We've got reporter Robert Meharry, editor Robert Meharry, live here. We just talked to him during halftime. He's live covering the South Tama Saydel game tonight for the paper, so make sure you pick up a copy of the of the Tama Toledo News Chronicle at your local newsstands today. I'd like to say thank you to all of our sponsors: Gary Bach State Farm Insurance, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, S&S Car Wash, State Bank of Toledo, Medicap Pharmacy, Appraisal and Real Estate Services, The Pump in Tama, Dallas Berm, Exit Halls Realty, and Assured Partners in Toledo. Thanks to their support this season. So you're listening to Trojan Country in the first half. To quickly run down what we saw in the first quarter, South Tama opened up with a big pass play from Bridgewater to Papaki. Bridgewater got a short goal line rushing touchdown to get the scoring started in the first period. Then it was Papaki with another goal line rushing touchdown after a long drive by the South Tama offense in their second trip on offense. After a turnover on downs by Saydel, South Tama, starting on the Saydel 35-yard line, got a touchdown run from Ethan Cruikshank for the third score of the first quarter. The fourth touchdown came after an interception by sophomore cornerback Tyus Clegg. That set up a big run from Ethan Cruikshank, and Gavin Bridgewater capped it off with a touchdown run. The Trojans getting into the end zone twice in the second quarter. There was a turnover on downs again that set up South Tama on their first drive of the second quarter. A big connection from Bridgewater to Upaw, and then that was capped off by a touchdown run by Ethan Cruikshank. But the big pass play from Gavin Bridgewater to Nolan Upaw set that one up. And then Bridgewater again scoring the last touchdown of the half. So you've been listening to the Gary Bach State Farm Insurance halftime show. We're just about ready to get things going in the third quarter, live from STC Trojan Field. And it'll be Garcia to kick off for the Trojans. Saydel on the kick return, brings it out to the 40-yard line. The best-looking return we've seen all game. It was Jose Ortega on the tackle for South Tama. So that'll set up 1st and 10 on the 45-yard line for the Saydel offense. First and 10 on the 45. Moments into the third quarter here. South Tama looking to keep the momentum going after a big first half. Ortega motioning to the crowd, trying to get the Trojan home field excited. There's a pitch off to McClure to start things off in this next drive. McClure into the South Tama midfield. Run of about 5 yards. That'll set up second down. Second and 5 on the 50 as Saydel, a little rejuvenated, they appear, here in this third quarter. They came out with a nice kick return, a couple positive plays to get things going in the third. They got 2nd and 5 now on the 50. Quarterback A.J. Olin in the shotgun. Olin handoff to McClure. McClure off the right tackle, up near the first down marker, but I think he might be just short. That'll bring up 3rd down. So even though the game well out of reach right now anyway for the Saydel offense, a good opportunity here to have South Tama work through a 3rd and short opportunity. The Trojans haven't seen many of those tonight. We'll see if the Trojan front can get a stop here on 3rd down. 3rd and 2, ball in the 47 for the Saydel Eagles. Fake handoff, quarterback keeper to Olin. Olin trying to get to the sideline. I think he's got the first down. And Olin finds the corner and converts, but we've got a flag on the play. And it'll be holding against Saydel. And so some positive yardage met with a negative penalty there. And that'll bring up 3rd and 7 after the 5-yard penalty. Oh, excuse me. 3rd and 10, excuse me. So 3rd and 10 now as the ball gets marched back to the Saydel 45-yard line. A.J. Olin in the shotgun. Pressure by the South Tama front, and that was number 51. 61, excuse me. That was Kyan McBride, Week 1 practice captain, almost getting the sack there. The D tackle for South Tama nearly brought down Olin on that one, but that'll bring up 4th down, and here comes the punt unit for the Saydel Eagles. So it'll be Jonah Peak to punt. He had a block punt earlier in the game. Crookshank to return. The ball goes bouncing near the Saydel sideline. It'll get picked up just outside of the 20-yard line. So South Tama to start with a long field to work on here in the third quarter. The best looking drive we've seen so far from the Saydel Eagles unit ends in a turnover, ends in a punt after South Tama able to force a penalty and a stop on 3rd and long. 1st and 10 now on the 22-yard line for Gavin Bridgewater and company. Bridgewater in the shotgun with Papaki in the backfield. Looking right, Bridgewater. He's going to throw. Crookshank comes back to receive. He's got it down, but is he inbound? And that will be a 1st down for Ethan Crookshank. Another big pass play there by Gavin Bridgewater. And South Tama getting it done through the air, on the ground tonight. A couple big receptions by Rudy Papaki and Nolan Upaw in the first half. And here's one from Ethan Crookshank. So a really diverse offensive performance by a lot of playmakers on the South Tama squad. Here's a quarterback keeper. Bridgewater up the gut, near the middle. And he'll be down for a 1st down. And I think Bridgewater could have that every play if he wanted it. That'll move up the chains to the 45-yard line in Saydel territory after the 1st down run by Gavin Bridgewater. Upaw, the near side receiver. The Trojans in the wing tee with Crookshank and Mathis. The halfbacks. The handoff's going to be to Papaki. Papaki, a big running lane, and he's down after a big run near the 35-yard line. He'll be just short of a first down, but a solid run there and a big running lane for him to work with. 2nd and 1 now. It will be for the Trojans into Saydel territory. .6:22 on the clock as we've got continuous clock happening here with this scoreless Saydel team trying to put something together against South Tama. 47-0. You can see on the scoreboard. Here's Gavin Bridgewater getting a block from Papaki, a stiff arm. Bridgewater still on his feet, dragging 2-3 tacklers with him, and he's finally brought down near the 15-yard line. Gavin Bridgewater having a time here in the third quarter. 22 yards it is after another big carry by quarterback Gavin Bridgewater. Again, the wing T formation coming out for South Tama. There won't be any backs in motion, but this time it'll be a handoff by Papaki. He gets a block by Mathis. Papaki stiff arms his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Trojans. That'll make it 53-0 after the touchdown run by Rudy Papaki. Eddie Garcia on to kick the PAT. And Garcia's kick will sail wide, no good. It'll stay at 53. But a nice performance by the South Tama run unit that time. And the Trojans up 53-0. Thanks to Mercy Care Tama. Mercy Care Tama is a proud supporter of South Tama County High School sports. The dedicated staff at Mercy Care Tama offer you and your family the highest quality professional care enhanced by the Mercy Touch. And a State Bank of Toledo. 2022 marks the 95th year in business for the State Bank of Toledo since opening in 1927. The State Bank of Toledo supports its customers with loyal, friendly, and fair customer service. Member FDIC. Thanks to all of our sponsors and supporters this season. This broadcast made possible by the Charlie Townsley Memorial tonight. So after the touchdown run by Rudy Papaki, South Tama again to kick. Special teams been a bit of a bugaboo for the Saydel Eagles, particularly their return team. Had some trouble just getting a hand on the ball. This time it's Landon Soma getting brought down just inside the 25-yard line. Once again, Darrell Hill getting the tackle for the South Tama kickoff team. And that'll bring up 1st and 10 on the 25 for the Saydel Eagles. Olin still under center, the sophomore, in his first year as a starter. Got a little run as a freshman last season, but most of the time spent as a backup. A.J. Olin now in the shotgun. He'll hand it off. And that was number 25, Parker Swafford, getting a carry. Swafford up for about a 6-yard gain. Damian Castellanos, the tackler for South Tama. Now 2nd and 5 for Saydel. Ball on the 31-yard line. Olin hands it off to Swafford. Swafford good enough for a first down. Excuse me, that was McClure on the carry that time. We're seeing both McClure and Swafford in the backfield on a lot of these formations. That was McClure that time, but he gets the first down. He's had probably the most success as a Saydel running back here tonight. And now it'll be 1st and 10 on the 40. McClure and Swafford, the running backs for Olin, still in the shotgun. Olin reaches back, fires for Keller, and it's long, no good. Colton Keller, the receiver on that long pass play that was almost a touchdown to end the first half. He fell down just short of the goal line to keep things scoreless here against South Tama. Now 2nd and 10 after the incomplete ball on the 40-yard line. We've got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go here in this third period. It's going to be a run play off to the right side. South Tama, several defenders in there to take down McClure. It was Uriah Roberts and 2-3 other Trojans in on the tackle. Wyatt Sermon in there on the line. So South Tama getting in some of their second stringers here with a 53-0 lead in the second half. So we'll see if we also see some change up in the South Tama offense. Here's Swafford now, the fullback, starting to get some run here, and you can tell the difference between the first string and second string. Damian Castellanos on the tackle, but not after a first down is captured by Swafford, number 25 for Saydel. So Saydel able to put together some first downs here late in the third period, looking for their first touchdown, and they're into South Tama territory. Minute 23 on the clock, 1st and 10 for Olin and company. A low snap, picked up, broken play, Olin rolling right near the out-of-bounds line, and he's knocked out near the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up third. That's got to be third. Kinzer Jeanette, sophomore for South Tama, in on the tackle. So we're at 2nd down, 2nd and 10 on the 44. South Tama looking to keep things scoreless here as some of the second teamers on the defensive side. Pressure coming for Olin. He overthrows Keller. And that was number 73. I don't have a 73 here, so I'm not sure who that was pressuring the quarterback, but a nice job by the South Tama front line getting in some pressure and kind of dominating the narrative here. 3rd and 10 now, as we are going to probably flip the field. Yep, that's going to be into the third quarter as we get to the third quarter break. Thank you to Appraisal and Real Estate Services. Licensed agents Mandy Leakin and Jason Leakin in Tama, Toledo are the one to count on for all your residential, commercial, and farm real estate needs. For most of us, buying a home is one of the largest investments of a lifetime. Choosing the right professional can save you time and make home buying a smooth process. Call 641-751-3021 to find out how the team at Appraisal and Real Estate Services can serve you. And thanks to Gary Bach State Farm Insurance. If you own a farm, you owe it to yourself to stop in or call Gary Bach to get a free quote on your farm coverage. You work too hard to spend too much on your farm insurance. Give Gary and his knowledgeable staff a call at 641-484-3163 for a free quote today. And don't forget, you get a free gift if you go in and get a free quote over at Gary Bach State Farm when you mention Trojan Country. Thanks to all of our sponsors for their support this season. So to start the fourth quarter, South Tama had only one touchdown. That was a goal line rush by Rudy Papaki. Now here's McClure just spiking his way through defenders of the South Tama second unit in for a first down near the 35-yard line. So 1st and 10 on the 32 after the first down run by Isaac McClure of Saydel. And this looks to be probably the most dangerous situation South Tama's defense has been put in. Outside of that, those couple long pass plays at the end of the second quarter. Here's Olin, still rolling left and overthrows his receiver. And that'll bring up second down. Make sure to tune in next week. We'll be live back here at Trojan Field. It'll be South Tama and Grinnell for the Steve Kriegel Memorial Trophy. Tune in. We'll have all the live coverage of South Tama Grinnell here in 2022. South Tama will hope to be coming off a big win here after dominating through 3 quarters of play against Saydel. Grinnell with an opening week loss, getting shut out against Benton, so we could have an interesting game in our hands in week 3. Here's a deep pass, almost picked off, and it falls incomplete. That was number 3, Pablo Montez and company. Cody Blocker also into the action there in the backfield. And so that'll bring up third down now for Saydel. 3rd and 10. As the Eagles taking a couple shots downfield, unable to put it together, and we'll see what they come up with here on 3rd down. A.J. Olin with 3 backs in the backfield. Hands off to Swafford. Swafford trying to just force his way up the middle, and he'll be brought down near the 30-yard line. Cody Blocker on the tackle for South Tama, and that'll bring up 4th down now on the 29-yard line. 4th and 6. And that'd be a nice feather in the cap here for these South Tama Trojans. A lot of kids getting in on this second string, working against the first string of Saydel, and would love to head back to practice with a 4th down turnover on downs. We'll see what they can get done here. There's Olin on the quarterback keeper. He's going to be brought down well short of the first down. Turnover on downs. South Tama again stopping up Saydel before they can get into the end zone. And so the Eagles will turn it over to South Tama once again. And we'll say thank you to Dallas Berm Exit Holes Realty. When you're looking for a new home or farmland, why not seek the counsel of a friend and expert? Dallas Berm at Exit Holes Realty can answer all your questions about the home buying process. Exit Holes Realty knows Trojan country better than anyone and can provide the kind of service you've been looking for. Call Dallas Berm at 319-360-1592 to start looking for your new home. And remember to buy with Berm. Also, thank you to The Pump in Tama. The Pump is Tama Toledo's #1 bar and grill, located in downtown Tama at 218 West 3rd Street. The Pump serves up cold drinks, a warm atmosphere, and an amazing lunch on the regular. On September 17, make sure to stop down to the Pump for the Tama Toledo Car Show and their Best Burger Hamburger Contest happening at the Pump during the car show. Stop by the Pump now for all the details or to sign up to compete. It's going to be burgers, it's going to be cars. It's going to be a great time over there downtown Tama coming up here in a couple weeks. Car show coming up. After the timeout, South Tama will have the ball back on their own 29-yard line, trying to extend this score 53-0 as we are into the fourth quarter, well into the fourth quarter now with the running clock situation. Jeremy Dolash now in at quarterback for the Trojans as Gavin Bridgewater. And here is a big run coming. That's number 15, Damian Castellanos, scrambling all the way down to the 12-yard line before being brought down. And South Tama's got playmakers on the second team as well. Damian Castellanos. And there's a flag. Looks like it might have been after the play ended because the flag went out near the 15-yard line. Maybe an unsportsmanlike. Some little extracurriculars after the ball went down. No movement yet here. And it'll go against South Tama. So it's going to be an unsportsmanlike dead ball foul against South Tama. And that'll march it back to the 33-yard line in Saydel territory. But a big rush there by Damian Castellanos gets South Tama into a scoring opportunity here just outside the red zone. So all kinds of different skill players getting involved in this South Tama offense tonight. Another flag is out as we've got some newer players kind of trickling into the South Tama lineup here as the Trojans are up big in the fourth quarter. Dolash with Blocker in the backfield. It'll be a handoff to Cody Blocker. And he's got really nowhere to go. Tackled for a loss, and that'll set up 2nd and 15. Second and 18, on the 37-yard line with 7:33 on the clock here in the fourth. The Trojans coasting toward a victory here. Castellanos in motion. The handoff is to Blocker. He's got a couple of lead blocks in front of him, but nowhere really too far to go, and he's brought down after a short gain. That'll bring up 3rd down now. South Tama just playing it conservative with the backup QB in under center. Tyrus Clegg running on the play for the Trojans. He had a touchdown in week 1 and an interception early in the game on defense. We haven't seen him much involved in the first team offense, but we're seeing him here now in that halfback position during the South Tama wing T formation. It's going to be Clegg in motion. Pitch out to Clegg, looking for the corner, and he'll be brought down in the backfield. Number 55 for the Eagles, Grady Godwin, on the tackle for a loss, and that'll bring up 4th down. I don't see Rudy Papaki heading into punt just yet. And South Tama maybe going to go for it here in a official's timeout as some equipment getting adjusted. Now we're ready to go. So 4th and 20. South Tama's set up on the 42-yard line in Saydel territory. Jeremy Dolash still the quarterback for the Trojans. Blocker in the backfield. 2 receivers split off to the left. Dolash, screen pass to Blocker. Blocker has a little open field trying to turn it around the corner, but he's knocked out of bounds before he's able to get anywhere near the first down. Brought down by McClure for Saydel. And that'll turn it over on downs for the Trojans. 5:22 on the clock here as this one slipping away from Saydel here in week 2. I'd like to say a special thank you to my lovely wife, Allison Graham. She's up in the booth here tonight running the camera for us. Appreciate you, honey. Love you. All right. First and 10 now for the Saydel Eagles. Still first unit. We've got A.J. Olin. He's a sophomore in his first season, so he's probably going to play this one out. And again, an incomplete pass. Olin has had trouble just getting a good connection in the receiving game. A lot of drop passes, miscommunications, and now we got a Trojan down on the field. Can't quite see the number on that one, but trainer's headed out to take a look. Injured player is number 69, Nathaniel Palmares, and he's headed to the sideline on his own 2 feet. That looks painful, but we're glad to see him up and moving. And so that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for Saydel now in their own territory. We got 4:41 on the clock here as this one's winding down. Haven't seen a score since early in the 3rd period as we've got several first-time players getting in, second unit guys here, and we've got a pitch out to the left. McClure brought down after just kind of a broken play, honestly. That wasn't much to look at there. 3rd and 14. Now for South Tama. Olin with one back in the backfield and a whistle before the play can really even get started. It's going to be false start against Saydel. And we'll redo 3rd down. Again, make sure to tune in next Friday. We'll be live here from STC Trojan Field, South Tama hosting Grinnell for the Steve Kriegel Memorial Trophy. The Trojans have not won that trophy back for the last few years. And a fresh opportunity here with a lot of new faces into the starting lineup. If you can't make it out to Trojan Field, you know where to find us here on Trojan Country, live from Facebook and YouTube. While we have a moment of pause, I'd like to say thank you to Iowa Premium, located in the heart of corn and cattle country. Iowa Premium procures and processes only corn-fed Black Angus cattle that come hand-selected from family farms in Iowa and neighboring states. As Tama County's largest employer, the team at Iowa Premium are an anchor, not only in the beef industry, but throughout eastern and central Iowa. Thank you to Iowa Premium. Here's 3rd down now, 3rd and 20. Ray J. Olin, and he's brought down. That's a sack by South Tama's number 73. I think that's Marcus Bear we got in there. Saw him on the sideline in the pregame. That looks like young Marcus Bear. So he's had a couple. Almost got a sack early in the 4th and gets one brought down here at near the end of the game. 3 minutes and 13 seconds as we've got continuous clock working. As the punt team on here for Saydel. The punt will be short and will rattle out of bounds near the 40-yard line, giving South Tama and the second-string offense another opportunity to tack on some more damage before the end of this one. All kinds of South Tama varsity action continuing in the upcoming week. The South Tama cross-country team on the road to Grinnell on Tuesday. The volleyball team also on the road to Clear Creek and Amana. They go to BCLUW on Saturday, tomorrow, for the BCLUW tournament. Both teams having some success early on here, and we'll be rooting for the Trojans all the way through this fall season. First and 10 now for Jeremy Dolash and the South Tama Trojans. Dolash under center. Will hand it off to Cody Blocker. Blocker gets some room to run and will be brought down near the first down. And that will be enough for a first down. Maybe an 11-yard rush there by South Tama's Cody Blocker. That'll bring up first and 10 on the 32-yard line. South Tama without junior Caden Sokol in this contest tonight. Sokol broke his arm in the West Marshall game and was the lone casualty that came out of that one, and he'll be out for the foreseeable future. So a couple of sophomores getting the call to the varsity roster with Sokol on the shelf. 2nd and 3 now after a short run by South Tama. Just over a minute to go here as things wind down at Trojan Field. And South Tama will make it 1-1 here on their Week 2 performance against Saydel. Couple more plays possibly coming here for the Trojans. Here's another handoff to Blocker. Blocker just drugged down by several Eagles near the 20-yard line. Under a minute as the clock is running. That might be it. And the Trojans looking to maybe get one more off. 30 seconds to go. Yep, one more play coming here for South Tama. Will it be a touchdown? Nope, victory formation coming here. South Tama will kneel it away, and that'll do it. Trojans taking the final score victory 53-0, and they go to 1-1 on their early part of their season. Final score from STC Trojan Field, South Tama 53, Saydel 0. Thank you to our sponsors, Gary Bach, State Farm Insurance, Mercy Care Tama, Iowa Premium, S&S Car Wash, State Bank of Toledo, Medicap Pharmacy, Appraisal and Real Estate Services, The Pump in Tama, Dallas Berm, Exit Holes Realty, and Assured Partners in Toledo. Also, tonight's broadcast has been made possible by the Charlie Townsley Memorial. Thank you to all of our sponsors and supporters for bringing us live from STC Trojan Field tonight and throughout this fall season. We're going to be with you through the duration of this STC football season. We're going to have volleyball coming up. South Tama cross country in action as well. A lot to be excited about, a lot to cheer about for South Tama here in this fall season. Hope everyone has a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Get out there, have a safe and fun holiday weekend if you get to enjoy it. For Darvin Graham, I'm Darvin Graham. For Allison Graham over here on the camera, we're going to sign off and say good evening and go Trojans.
set me